wealth to the prosperity of a nation. Let peace reign. On the news this afternoon, Governor Wike justifies PDP's victory in March 18 elections. Presidential candidates of PDP Labour Party Petition Election Tribunal. INEC resumes Enugu Abia State's results collation today. US to sanction those who undermine Nigeria's elections. Court dismisses Abba Kyari's application to quash charges. On the foreign scene, 4 dead as Russia launches new attack on Ukraine. I am Kala Dakuru Batubo. Good morning. Good afternoon. Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike has justified the victory of the PDP in the governorship and state assembly polls in the state. It follows calls by the opposition parties for the election to be cancelled over irregularities. In a strongly worded broadcast yesterday, Governor Wike took swipes at the APC governorship candidate Tony Cole and his SDP counterpart Magnus Abbey. He said they were not prepared to win an election in the state.
Is it possible under the present voting system for the PDP to rig this election to the extent of winning all 23 local government areas and 31 state constituencies if they were competitive and electable candidates? The truth is that the PDP ran an effective political campaign. We went to all 319 wards to sell our candidates who flagged up and commissioned impactful projects throughout our campaign, which excited the people.
The governor said the elections were free and fair. He also said they are ready to forgive those who worked against the PDP in Rivers State.
Those who betrayed us now know that infidelity is never a virtue, nor does it pay. However, we are forgiving them, just as the governor-elect has also told me he will forgive them if they retrace their steps and return home.
The governor further said that it is not true that the INEC chairman worked under him as the executive secretary of the Tertiary Education Trust Fund, TED Fund, as claimed by the former Minister of Transportation, Chibike Amechi.
The truth was that Mahmoud Yakubu never worked under me. Both of us worked in the Federal Ministry of Education. He was the Executive Secretary of the Tertiary Education Trust Fund, supervised by the Minister of Education, while I was Minister of State for Education. At any rate, was Mahmoud Yakubu, our next chairman in the 2015 general election in Rivers State when we defeated him and his political party as a sitting governor and Director General of Muhammadu Buhari's presidential campaign. Was it not the same Mahmoud Yakubu that conducted the 2019 general election, which the APC and President Muhammadu Buhari won?
A fact check shows that INEC chairman Mahmoud Yakubu was the executive secretary of TED Fund at the time Governor Wike was Minister of State for Education. But Professor Yakubu was answerable to the Board of Trustees and not exactly to the Minister of State. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, says collation of results for the governorship election conducted in Enugu State on Saturday will continue at 5 p.m. today. Recall that the electoral body announced the suspension of the results collation on Monday, saying it took the decision after a meeting to review the elections. The PDP's Peter Mba and Labour Party's Chijioke Edoga are in a tight race to emerge the governor-elect of Enugu State. Similarly, the collation of the Abia State governorship election will resume by 4 p.m. today at the INEC Collation Center in Umuahia, Abia State. On Monday, INEC National Commissioner Festus Okoye said the commission suspended the collation of results in Obingwa, LGA of Abia State after its office was invaded by thugs on Sunday. INEC's former head of voter education and publicity, Wole Uzi, says the creation of another agency to regulate the activities of political parties may not entirely solve the problems in the electoral system. Mr. Uzi said this in reaction to calls that INEC may have performed below expectations because of too much burden on it. Mr. Uzi, however, told correspondent Oyekachi Nwosu that he supports the Ken Inamani Committee, which recommended the unbundling of INEC.
You have just a separate agency dealing with electoral offences, but not have much to do. So you may have an agency that INEC will be unbundled, and you have an agency that oversees both of electoral offences, investigation, prosecution, and also regulation of political parties. That has been suggested. I don't know whether that creating another bureaucracy, whether it necessarily solves the problem. I'm not so sure. If at least anything creates another problem, INEC might have to be unbundled. That's the recommendation of the Committee. Go with it.
On the calls for early and diaspora voting as ways to reduce voter apathy, Mr. Uzi applauded the idea but calls for clear understanding of how it will operate.
That's the way to go eventually, but is there enough confidence in the system with the system where we run now? In what mode will the early voting take? And already there's controversy about the people when you see people physically turning up with polling units. So what will happen where, maybe not on election day, on previous, you don't bring votes from somewhere else? It will get there, but there has to be a lot more confidence in the system. But that's why voting is a very big, white thing. We will get there too, but who will be the people entitled to vote? Nigerians? People born in Nigeria? Their children? What will be the criteria?
The PDP presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar has approached the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal to contest the declaration of APC's Bola Tinubu as president-elect. The filing was confirmed by a member of the Atiku legal team, Silas Joseph Onu, yesterday evening. Also, the Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Obi has filed this petition to challenge the victory of APC's Bola Tinubu in the 25th February election. Mr. Obi, who came third in the election, filed this petition to challenge the outcome of the poll at the Presidential Election Petition Court in Abuja at about midnight on Tuesday. He alleged that the election was characterized by various irregularities, including the non-qualification of Mr. Tinubu and his running mate Kashim Shettima to contest the election. Former Governor of Ekiti State Ayodele Fayose says those trying to overturn the mandate of the President-elect Bola Ahmed Tinubu are only daydreaming. Mr. Fayose, who said this on Channels Television, said whoever did not win on the field should know that the winner will not sit back and watch their victory disrupted through the courts. In the same vein, President-elect Asiwaju Bola Tinubu says the elections are over and it is time for the healing process to begin. Condemning the violence and other negative trends that trailed the conduct of the elections, the president-elect appealed to Nigerians to rise above the sentiments of partisanship, ethnicity, and religiosity and focus more on the valued strings that bind Nigerians together as a people. He said elections should be a celebration of maturing democracy and freedom of choice and ought not to be moments of grief. The United States government says it will consider all available actions against those who undermine the just concluded elections in Nigeria. In a statement, the United States mission in Nigeria said it is deeply disturbed by cases of voter intimidation and the use of ethnically charged rhetoric during the governorship and House of Assembly elections held on March 18. It called on the federal government and other relevant agencies to ensure those that aided voter suppression are brought to book. Still ahead, court dismisses Abba Kyari's application to quash charges. Stay tuned as we go for a quick break. dismissed the application on the ground that the court has the exclusive right and the jurisdiction to hear drug-related cases as enshrined in Nigeria's constitution and the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency (NDLEA) Act. Mr. Kyari had told the court that the charges against him were premature, insisting that the NDLEA ought to have allowed police to exhaust its internal machinery before it instituted the action. In business, the Central Bank of Nigeria on Tuesday raised its benchmark lending rate to 18% in an aggressive push to contain the nation's inflationary pressure. This was disclosed by the CBN Governor, Godwin Emefiele, on Tuesday while reading the communique of the second MPC meeting. The tightening of the rate, according to the Apex Bank Governor, is expected to curtail inflation, currently put at 21%. In entertainment, Nigeria superstar Rema has made history as his hit single, Calm Down, has now surpassed Wizkid's Essence remix featuring Thames and Justin Bieber as the highest charting African song on Billboard Hot 100 as it continues to make its mark as one of the biggest crossover Afrobeat songs in history. Now in sports, tennis great Martina Navratilova says she is cancer-free. The 18-time Grand Slam singles champion, who previously had breast cancer in 2010, was diagnosed with throat and breast cancer late last year. In January, she said both cancers had been caught at an early stage. And now on the foreign scene, Russian forces have attacked several Ukrainian cities, killing at least 4 people in a drone strike on the residential area of Kyiv region. Upper floors of 2 student dormitories were hit this morning in the city of Rishyshev on the outskirts of the capital. Rescue services said an 11-year-old was among the wounded. On the news this afternoon, you heard Governor Wike has justified the PDP's victory in March 18 elections. Presidential candidates of the PDP and the Labour Party have petitioned the election tribunal. INEC will resume result collation of Enugu, Abia states later today. US said it will sanction those who undermine Nigeria's elections. A court has dismissed Abba Kyari's application to quash charges. On the foreign scene, 4 persons have died as Russia launched new attack on Ukraine. The news was edited by Martha Okere. Cloudy weather in Port Harcourt this afternoon. Peace is the path to the prosperity of a nation. Let peace reign. I am Kalada Kuribatvo. Do stay tuned to 92.3 Nigeria Info.